out to Curtis out there. You are definitely locked in. And everybody else who pretend that they don't listen to the True Light Show, I know you're locked in because you have to be locked in. I hear what I'm saying to you. If offense is taken because you are a religious group, and you'll take offense of the truth, and you cannot stand before us in any way, form, whatsoever, go and say your prayers, read your Bible, read your Quran, read the Torah, pray to the ear, do your rubbish, man, because it's rubbish. Time for that to go, time for a change, time for Nuwaubian, sound right, reasoning, right and exact, bang on time. Not bigging up none of those dumb organizations out there misleading the people. None of them. All of them have been dealt with. When they see me, they look on the floor and still look on the floor. If you have any comments or suggestions about the True Light Show, email hightech wrec@westminster.ac.uk for any comments on the True Light Show. You'll get that email address later. But what I'm going to do right now, hopefully you've got your pens and papers at the ready. I'll give out the question and answer classes of the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors around and about the capital. Okay, each and every Monday, that's each and every Monday at the Albany Empire, room 21. Okay, that's down in Deptford, off of Deptford High Street. All the buses to the New Cross Marquis will take you there. If you're driving straight down Watson Street or the High Street, do a left because you can't go down the road. That's room 21, United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, question and answer forum, fraternity. That's down at Deptford between the hours of 7 and 10. Come along with questions and we'll get answered. Nobody banging in the pulpit at the front, no collections, trays absolutely free. If you hear them out there and they don't come and test us here and now, ask them where were they and ask them why didn't they phone up in the forum to blow out the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. Ask them why. Ask them why they can't. Ask Curtis why he can't. Hey, bro. Now, there's a movement out there. These dreads from the Bobber camp. I've got to talk about this. I don't care who it offends because somebody has got to tell these backwards people something. The vocals are excellent. The vibes is excellent. But bruv, the words, man, you know. Selassie is Melchizedek. Look, it says simple things. Jesus was after the order of Melchizedek. So it cannot be the one and the same person backward. Wake up. When are you going to wake up? So what if it's in your head that way? It doesn't exist out here this way. Please wake up. And I don't care, you know, I'm sincerely asking you to wake up because, you know, time is ticking away. And what you have holds nothing. It's feeble. It's just black Christianity. You get me? Same thing but black people. Jesus on the cross, but it's a dread. It's the same thing. Black Christianity. Allow it, man. Done with it. It's foolishness and it holds no substance. Allow it now. Let's move on. Time to grow. Okay. And if you got any argument, just tell me straight. 0374 231 658. Okay? Don't go talking behind my back. Phone me on my phone. 0374 231 658. Also, if you want to catch me in the flesh, I'll be down at the Albany Empire each and every Monday, okay? That's each and every Monday between the hours of 7 and 10, room 21, United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. Not a problem, nothing else. Okay. On tonight's True Light Show, doctors of the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors coming in here to break down the subject of black devils. We can stray a little bit, but that's what we're dealing with tonight, okay? All right, because we got to set the record straight, because, you know, you got some leaders who think all black people are good, all black. No, not some of them are some demons, red-eyed, grudgeful, malicious, sellouts, okay, that will sell you out. You know, like characters like your Judas and your Cain in the Bible, you know, your Bible that you love so much. They're in there, black people. Okay? Look, so you see the man nailed on the cross, locks and everything? It was a black man that sold him out? Yeah. Okay? That's your God. Sold out by a black man. So they are black devils, and they do exist, and it's time we have to wake up, because you've got some people out there saying the blonde-haired, blue-eyed devil, when blonde-haired, blue-eyed people didn't do nothing to put us in slavery and didn't do nothing to bring us down. They were brown hair, brown eyes, green eyes, you know, but not blonde-haired, blue eyes. There's no history of that. That's some bogus lying talks that any religious leader that's speaking lies. Okay, so since you call yourself black, all right, we're dealing with black devils. We know that. None of us don't know that. All right, grab a pen and a piece of paper. Have them ready to take down the information. If you're sincere and serious, you'll take down the box and do your own research. This is the telephone number of the studio for the live. 0961 182 341. Big respect to driver just reached in the studio. 0961 182 341. We're not opening up the phone lines yet, so just relax and get yourself a drink or something, some refreshments, and I'll introduce the doctors and let them come in and break down the schedule for the evening. Dr. Edward Onodeko in the studio, and Dr. Lloyd Osborne, and they'll be taking the forum shortly. Subject is black devils, and they'll basically take it from there. Okay, have your pens and papers ready? 0961 182 341. Okay. Now the doctors would introduce themselves and take you through the agenda of the night.
Rahaba everyone, that's greetings in Nuwaubic. My name is Dr. Edward Onodeko. Pleasure to be on this show tonight. The forum obviously said it's going to be on, are there black devils, or what are black devils? That's a topic that, you know, many people need to talk about. You know, you've got people like the Nation of Islam who want to talk about the white man is a devil. What you have to address is the black devil, because those are people that your mothers, your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends. So that's what the topic's going to be on tonight. And what I'm going to do is hand you over to Dr. Lloyd Osborne.
I've been following the land since the year 1996. I teach something called Nuwaubian, which is the science of sound right reasoning. Today I've chosen to talk about are there black devils, because a lot of Nubian organizations that are rising up are refusing to accept or refusing to address the fact that there are demons in brown skin, broad nose, big lips, woolly hair that do exist, right? In terms of the Nation of Islam or the Nubian, the Hebrew Israelites and the Israelite Hebrews and so on and so forth. What we teach is a science called Nuwaubian, which is literally the science of sound, right reasoning. You get to it by right knowledge, which is correct information, right wisdom, right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, which leads on to sound, right reasoning. Sound just meaning unshakable. Right, so what we did is just basically just the facts. Now, one thing that a lot of people are caught up in is the Bible. They won't accept the contradictions that have been pulled out by certain people that have studied the Bible and also the Quran. A lot of people are under the illusion that Adam and Eve are the first two individuals on the planet. Now we know through right reasoning that that cannot be, right? Because according to religion, Eve came from Adam's rib. Right? If Eve came from Adam's rib, that would tell us that they must have the same blood. Now if you ask any scientist or any doctor that studies these things, they'll tell you that the marrow in a bone is the richest source of blood. Now if that is true, then they must have had the same blood type. So we asked what was their blood type, how did their blood types change? Right? We know their blood type changed in Genesis chapter 6 verse 4 when it talks about the sons of God coming unto the daughters of men because they saw that they were fair. Now this totally obliterates this thing where people say that God is all good, because God's sons, according to the Bible, came in unto the daughters of men. And if you go into any religious, you read any Jehovah's Witness book in terms of their Bible stories or anything like that, they'll show you that these beings came down and raped these individuals. Now, if you look further into the Bible, God does tell Adam and Eve to replenish. Now, if you're doing your research, go into any dictionary, you'll know that the word replenish means to refill or redo. So that implies that there was somebody or peoples that lived before. We know that the Bible cannot be based on facts. There's no disrespect to no one because it doesn't mention the dinosaurs. It doesn't talk about the genealogy of man. It doesn't explain these things. Right? We're just taught to accept, and if you don't accept, you're gonna go to hell. Another thing that we always ask is, where is this hell place? Who can prove that hell exists? Who came back from the dead and said, yeah, you know what? I was in hell. Even if they did tell you that, how do you know it's true? It doesn't make no sense. You know, no matter how far you dig deep into the ground, I never heard no person that drives the tube trains in the morning say that they saw the devil. And for London Underground to exist, you have to dig a deep, deep hole. Heaven, where did that concept come from? Notice I said con. It's accepted con. It's not logical. What can you get in heaven you can't get here? If I desired naked women to feed me grapes according to the Quran, then, you know, I can have that. You get me? If I wanted milk and honey, I could go to Safeways and get that. So we know that these are concepts that have been given to by egotistical people. And the reason why I say egotistical is for the main fact is with religion it deals with individualism. And we know that us as a nation of people, as Nuwaubians, we can't make this by ourselves. We have our affirmation. I'm in love with the all and all love is in me. I am a part of the all and the all is a part of me. I can fail as an individual. That's what it's about, because we're dealing with ego. Now, if I don't believe in your God, I'm going to go to your concept of hell. Because your God says I should worship him. Like God Almighty has needs. It's not logical. Now, the reason why I'm touching on these subjects, I'm just trying to generate positive thought in your head so that once I've done giving a little breakdown, you can pick up the phone and ask anything you understand to gain an understanding of. So I know through research that the Bible is not authentic, and that's no disrespect to anybody that does believe the Bible is authentic. What you should do is to do some research. Go and look where the Bible came from. Why did King James why did he find it necessary to translate the Bible? What was wrong with it in the first place? You know, I know that no person that claims that the Bible is authentic, no person that actually says that the Bible claims it to be authentic, you can't know Hebrew, because there's certain words in Hebrew you cannot translate into English. We know that certain letters like J and P don't exist. Right? God wasn't called God and up until the English language came into existence. What was he called then? Words have meanings. Where did the etymology of the word God come from? Do you understand what I'm saying? It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What beginning? How can God have a beginning? And earth and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Religious people, if God is everywhere, how can he move upon the face of the waters? It's not logical. And that's no disrespect to anybody, but I have to tell it like it is. And I know God is not going to jump out the sky and beat me up, because I'll ask him to get his priorities straight, because there's a lot of people out there who are suffering and going through kinds of trials and tribulations. And God knew millions and trillions and zillions and billions of years ago, even before I asked this question, I was going to ask it. So I know he must have prepared an answer. You understand what I'm saying? So our mission here right now is just to teach the facts. Right? Facts speak for themselves. So we need to come together mentally. If we come together mentally, we'll come together physically. So what we're doing, we're trying to re-brainwash you, because brainwashing is a good thing. Right? Any person that accuses you of being brainwashed because you're teaching facts and say, yeah, I agree with you. Right? Most people are brain dirty. That's why we don't get along. Now, who lived prior to the existence of Adam and Eve? Right? You had a group of beings known as the Anunnaki. There's something that you yourself can go do some research, go check out. Those that Anu sent in 50s to key. Right? If you go into Revelation chapter 12 verse 7, talks about there being a war in heaven. Now religious people, I thought heaven was a good place. Why is there a war in heaven? If I die, there might be another war. A lot of people try to deny the Nuwaubian nation more because we talk about extra beings that come on this terrain. In other words, extraterrestrials. Right? But it's a lot, as far as I'm concerned, the explanation or what we give to you is a lot more logical than there being a spook heaven or these dragons. Religious people, you believe in dragons. There's a dragon in heaven. Michael and the dragon fought. It's not logical. So we just deal with the facts. Now, when we look at the word heaven, the Greek word for heaven is Oranos, which is nothing but the Orion star constellation. So if we go back to Matthew chapter 6 verse 9, where it talks about our Father who art where? In heaven, according to Jesus. So that's where God lives. If we go forward to John chapter 14 verse 2, it talks about in my Father's house are many mansions. I mentioned earlier, according to Jesus, that his house was heaven. So how can there be many mansions in a house? It's not ludicrous. It doesn't make sense. Right? So that must have been a metaphor. His house is heaven. So in the Orion star constellation, there are many planets. You know, so this is what we have. Right? You have a war on the Orion star constellation. So you have beings that live there. Any individual that thinks that we're the only people on this, or the only species of intelligent life on this planet is sadly mistaken. That you're wrong 100%. And I challenge absolutely and positively any individual to right the rights that we're putting out right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? You do have extra beings that come to this planet for different reasons. Right? What do religious people look for when they're praying? Why do you look up in the sky? If you're in a room, all you're going to see is the ceiling. If you're outside, all you're going to see is clouds. Or you're waiting for some being to come down. Or was there people waiting for beings to come down? If God moved upon the face of the waters, he has to be smaller than the water. So we've narrowed God down to an individual. If you go on to Exodus chapter 15 verse 3, it talks about God being a man of war. God is a man according to them. That also obliterates God being love. If I'm made in the image and likeness of God, I cannot be loved because I'm not that way inclined all the time. If I'm walking down the road and I'm called, if I'm verbally abused for no sensible reason according to me, I'm going to, act negative. God does these things. Who is more wicked in the Bible, God or the devil? Because God has wiped out people to show his power. So that is not an all-loving God. If God can do everything, he will just make people good. Bath, just like that. You understand what I'm saying? Right? The devil in the Bible, we ask, what did the devil do that was so wicked? He told Adam and Eve, in the day that ye eat thereof, ye shall surely die. They did not die in the day that they ate. He told the truth. Right? So what we have is a devil. He's an individual that's been attributed a title. The word devil comes from the root word diabolos, which just means liar or false accuser. That's all it means. So anybody, regardless of race, creed or color, could be that. If you're lying or not telling the truth, you can have attribute the title the devil. Prior to the existence of Adam and Eve were only a tribe of people. We had beings that came down to this planet. Now, if you go into to Genesis chapter 2, verse 12, it talks about the gold of that land being good. So why is God saying this? Because remember, it's only God that exists at the moment. So God is talking to himself. So there's gold somewhere else that's not all that good. But what you had was a host of beings that came down to this planet to procreate new beings in their image and after their likeness for a particular job. Right? There was a war in the heavens. Prior to that war, if you do any research, there was a war between Melchizedek and another individual that was attributed the title devil, or his other name was Zuen. Right? That was another title that he held. He wanted to be like Melchizedek. He didn't think Melchizedek should hold the seat that he held. So he rebelled, and there was a war in that heaven. He destroyed what was known as their ozone layer on their planet, and they had to scout the universe and look for gold to take back to their planet to help absorb the sun's heat from around their planet. So the best place that they could find was the planet Earth. So they came down and was mining the gold for themselves. Right? The work for them was laborious, so they had to create a new being and after their image and after their like to do this work. And this is where we come in. Right? We as individuals evolved from the waters. Now, a lot of people are under the illusion that concept came from Einstein. If you do any research, the word evolution is a lot older than existed before even Einstein was born onto this planet. The word evolution just means to grow in a direct line. That's all it means. Do some research into the word. You as an individual have evoluted from the day you're born, physically and mentally. The day somebody doesn't grow mentally, then you're dead. And that's what religion is. It's dead information. Right? The characters in religion are dead. Jesus, Muhammad, Adam, they're all dead people. So what we've done as a people, we've accepted somebody's way of life, somebody else's culture. That's why it doesn't work for us. You understand what I'm saying? But going back to what I mentioned earlier, you had a group of beings that came down because there was a war in their heaven. This particular demon at that time, he lost the war in the skies that they fought in, and they came down to this planet to procreate beings in their image and after their likeness. Right? They abducted the beings that evolved from this planet, took them over to what you call Mars now. Right? Do some research into Mars. There's pyramids on Mars right now. That is a fact. You can pick up any ufologist that studies these things will tell you that, and you can also go into certain libraries and check out certain books, and you'll see pyramids on Mars. There's a face of Homo erectus on Mars right now. Somebody didn't. That's not something. Why would God want to put that there if you're a religious person that thinks that, you know, it's just God and people and that's it? You know, why is that there? I've seen pictures of this on TV myself. You can argue, oh, it could be camera tricks, but to what point? What they try? Why? You know, you have to come a bit better than that. You have beings that do exist on other planets. If God comes down here, he is an extra being on this terrain. An astral just meaning from the stars, therefore is an extraterrestrial. That's all it is, an extra being on this terrain. And if you were to go somewhere else, you would be an extra being on their terrain. Now, but religion doesn't deal with facts. Right? Once you start doing your research, you realize that religion is very weak and it's insulting to your intelligence. Right? But what you had these group of beings that came down, and the work for them was too laborious. So they sped up the evolutionary process of these beings. Right? These beings were known as the Anunnaki, those that Anu sent in 50s to key. Right? 900 of these beings were sent on this mission. Right? 600 of these beings came down. They got their name from the people that existed on the planet, and they called them Anunnaki. The ones that stayed in the heavens were called the Igigi, those that stayed in the heavens. And they procreated us on this planet in their image and after their likeness. Once this being was defeated, his son was captured during this war and reared up. He was very hostile and upset over the death of his father, so he vowed to destroy the new beings on this planet. That's why he makes his own hideous image of blonde hair, blue eyes as favorable through the media. That's why a lot of our brothers now, you know, sisters are doing it from day, straightening their hair, putting in contacts there. It's subliminally, I say, being brain dirty into worshipping the image and likeness of the beast. This is coming from the holy tablets that you can do some research on, and also the Bible that people claim is authentic. Right? So what we have, what people are living in the image of the likeness of the beast. That's why the culture that we've accepted, that we're living by, that we're surrounded by, it doesn't work for us. Right? The pale people or white people were not the first two people here. I know you know this. Right? But they came from what you call the Hindu beings or the Asian people. That's why they're called carcass Asian or dead Asian. They're just melanin recessive Hindu people. That's all they are. But with the war in the heavens, you had beings who were called the Anunnaki. Right? The beings that were defected from the Anunnaki became beings of the lesser light because they were being what was known as the green light. The physical personification of these beings of the green light would be a brown-skinned, woolly-haired, full-lipped, broad-nosed Nubian like you or me. Right? These beings became known as beings of the lesser light. The physical personification of these beings on this planet would be literally like Hindu beings. These were the demons of the race. These people came down in Genesis chapter 6 verse 4, and they raped what was known as the Tarites. The Tarites are the group of people that evolved from the waters. Right? They resided at the Gihon and Pihon, or the white and blue Niles. These are the beings that evolved. They were known as the first Muslimun, the ones of peace. These Hindu beings came down and raped them and took them over to Tigris and Euphrates River and gave birth to a new tribe of people called the Watusi. Right? They spoke a dialect called Sanskrit. Right? The people that resided at the white and blue Nile spoke a dialect called cuneiform. The mixture of these two gave them a new dialect called Adamic. This is where Zakar came into it. This is Adam of the Bible. His name was called Rememberer. The reason why he was given the task in the garden to name all the animals was simply because he knew things. Now, one thing our master teacher always says, one thing that he taught us is that we as individuals, we don't know anything. The reason why I said that is because how do you know blue is blue? The reason why you know that blue looks the way it is, because that's what you've been taught from the day you've been born. How do you know today is Wednesday? The only reason why you know today is Wednesday is because that's been jumping to you. This is what day Wednesday falls on. So us as individuals, we've lost our creativity. We're not taught to do for self. They don't teach this in school, you know, because this is where living in the image of the likeness of the beast comes in, because we've accepted his dead culture, because he himself, the pale man, is a physical manifestation of death. Right? We have known as 9 ether, 6 ether, and ghost. 9 ether is us, those woolly-haired beings that go back to what we call triple darkness. Right? These are the immunity that evolved from what we call triple darkness. Right? They created us in their image and after their likeness on this plane. The death of 9 ether, is 6 ether, which is the Asian people with the brown skin and the dead flank hair. The droopy hair is due to a lack of protein. Right? The death of 6 ether is what we call ghost, which is the pale man of today. That's what he is. Right? He's the physical manifestation of death. That's why he calls us soul people. If we're soul people, what is he? We are a very creative people. Right? So because we live in his society, his way of life is going to be based around death. His way of life would be religion or rely on jinn. For those of you that don't know, a jinn is just what most people will call a ghost. Right? It's what the Muslims call disagreeable negative forces. They describe it as a jinn. Right? But this is what we have. Christianity is dead because it's just dead information. All you do is regressing and going backwards and backwards and backwards, following Jesus or some guy that lived 2,000 years ago. You know, if you're a Muslim, you're following someone that lived 1,400 years ago. You know, we have to bring it up to today. If you're someone that you're saying that you're really are following Muhammad to the T, then when I see Muslims on the street, you should be riding camels and not driving cars. You should be eating what Muhammad ate and not going to Pizza Huts or Mickey D's or eating any of the modern food that we eat today. You know, you have to be right and exact. You can't be jumping on people's cases, say that you have the truth and you're not following to the T yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we have. We have dead religions given to us by dead people. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the food that we eat, a lot of it is non-nutritious in terms of them genetically engineering certain vegetables. What do you call it? The nutrition and so on and so forth is not what it used to be. So us as individuals were on our way to destruction. Right? So what we had, going back to my original point, you had people of the lesser light, these beings of the lesser light that came down. These were your demon beings that came from the Orion star constellation, and they raped the Tarites, the passive people that live by the white and blue Niles. And this is where you get your black demons from. Right? This is where you get the wickedness from. When we talk about black devil, I ain't talking about the type of black devil that sells drugs, and he sells drugs just because of the way he grew up. I'm talking about those Nuwaubian people that are born with a silver spoon in their mouth and who still do wickedness. The type of black devil, it's the little things that they do, like I'll give you, for example, like you show a man or you introduce him to your girl, for argument's sake, and the man's all looking in your girl's eyes and holding her hands for extra long, trying to leave a subliminal message in her mind. I've seen that, it's happened to me. It's the little things that these black demons do. It's not the big things. Right? There's a certain black devil you go down to sign on, and that you got a one black woman hassling you. You always go down there anyway. Right? So the point I'm trying to get on is you have black demons that try to hinder our progress because they have no care. They're out for self. You understand what I'm saying? This is where these black demons are coming from. You know, we've got to address these subjects. You know, a lot of people are frightened to address black devils because they're scared of looking at themselves. Now, what I'm saying, what I mentioned earlier, the word devil is just a liar or false accuser. When this individual got put down to this planet, he was attributed titles. He was known as Iblis, rebellious one, because he rebelled. He was known as Azazel, the one removed. When he came down to this plane, which is planet Earth, he was known as Shaitan, a thing of play, because he became a thing of play, a human. If you go into your Bible, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, if you read that downwards, it talks about how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, angel of the morning, and so on and so forth. It goes on to say that he is a man. You go into Revelation chapter, I think it's chapter 13, verse 16, at the end of it, talk about the beast is a man, count the number of the beast. So we know this is not no spook thing that we're talking about. We're talking about a demon that is in human form on this planet, and you have the rest of his 200 fallen cohorts on this planet also, who've mixed their seed, and the descendants of these people live today. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why we range in different hues, because you had these black skin, they were very dark skin that mixed in with the lighter skinned moving people that lived at the white and blue Niles. This is why we range in different heights, because these people that lived in the white and blue Niles were 4 foot tall. The beings that came in and raped them, they gave birth to giants, the Watusi. They were 7, 8 foot tall, 8 ether-haired beings. This is where Adam came from. This is the lineage that he came from. So Adam, what we would call is disagreeable. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm going to hand you over to Edward. He's going to elaborate.
Right about again. Yeah, when we're talking about black devils, they're out there in the numbers. Now, as the brother was talking about the Hindu beings, these are the fallen Elohim that fell with the devil, Samael. And they came here onto the place called Nod, or Nudimod. And that camp was actually set up by a being called Enki. Now, Enki was one of the sons of Anu, Anu being the Most High. Yeah. Now, when you set that camp up, Nudimod, you can actually see that word, nudist beach. Now, that was basically a recreation ground where all types of madness went on. Yeah. Now, you can see those kind of things today when you go out clubbing, or when you go to the Caribbean, and you go to a place called Hedoism, which is in the grill. Now, all types of nonsense goes on there. All types of obscenities that goes on there. These are the things that are happening today. And we as Nubian people, we are partaking in this type of, system. This is not something that we should be in. Now, these beings, Hindu beings, they when they manifest down here on the physical realm, yeah, they manifest as black skin, straight hair, blue-eyed demon beings. Yeah. Now, these beings, as I said, they came down here and they raped the Pygmy tribe. They're also called the Tarites. Yeah, and they mixed in and created what's known as the Kuthites, or you call them the Watusis. Now, these beings have basically, they are in our genetic makeup, and there's a lot of people today that are born devils. There are some people who are devils by conversion. What I mean is that you can be going around with certain people who are, I don't know, doing certain things, stealing, robbing, whatever. You're amongst them. They're giving off negative vibrations, negative things, and once you're with them, you're gonna be like them, and you're gonna start to do things. They call it peer pressure, and that's you doing things by conversion. Yeah, you may have a soul, and you may lose that soul by doing those type of things, but you can regain it. Now, you have also black devils who are just born by nature, no soul. There's nothing there, no feeling. You know what I mean? They're the type of people that will, go and shoot up certain people or stab some people at a party, and they won't give a damn. They'll have no remorse. They don't have no, they'll talk about it. They might smoke a spliff and talk about it to their friends and say, yeah, that wasn't a good killing. That's what we've got to deal with today. Now, these people, black devils, they're in all fragments of society. Whether they be school teachers, whether they be your pastor, preachers, your imams, they're there, and they're the people that you look up to, and who give you advice. Now, as the devil, he can be your best friend. He can give you things. He can make you feel that you are the best person in the world. What you've got to check out is what they're really about. Are they leading you? Are they raising you? Are they giving you high information? Are they hindering you? You got to realize that it could be anyone from your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You know what I mean? These people are there to keep your weight off the path. Now, what you have to realize is, in this day and time, we need to know certain things. There are a lot of things that are happening around the world, on this planet, that we have to basically bear witness to. Now, we are under what's known as a spell which is called Leviathan, which means law or sin. Levi, law, Athan, sin. Or the spell of Kingu, that's the spell of sleep. And that's been propagated through religion, through television, media. Yeah, when we as children, when we went to school, primary school, we were indoctrinated into his story. What I mean by his story is the European story, their perspective. Yeah, telling them about things like, King Henry VIII and stuff like that, things which had nothing to do with us really. And when they did tell us about our story, it was basically corrupted, saying that we were uncivilized beings in Africa, playing drums, and that's what we did all day. And when the Europeans come in, they came in and civilized us. they call themselves civilized, but to be civilized, you have to be in a barbaric state before. I mean, we as Nubians, we are civilizers. Yeah, we have such things called melanin, and we are melanin dominant. Now that melanin molecule that gives you that color in your skin, that brownness, it is a civilizing molecule. It makes us, you know, not passive, but we are, you know, loving and caring people. You know what I'm saying? Now, when the so-called Europeans came in to places like Africa, they came in with the intention of basically taking from us. But what they did first is befriend us, make us friends, and, you know, but they were looking at our gold. Because where we lived, the Blue Nile and the Red Nile, lands of Kush, which is Ethiopia, or you call it also Egypt, or what's called Mitzrayim in the Bible, or Kemet. These are places where we had natural resources, gold, all different types of minerals, because Africa today is a rich continent. And they came in and they basically they took all this through technology. That's what they did. You know, we lost our story. We were meant to have this type of knowledge, right knowledge, passed on to us generation after generation, but that got lost. So we're under that spell. We can't even think right. You know, all we think about is people, places, and things. Oh, it's a mode of 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. We can't think out of that. We're trapped. Try and think of a new color. You can't. Try and think of a number higher than 9. Because then you got 10, but that's 0, 1, and 0. You can't think higher than that. That's the spell that we're under. You know, we have to break that spell. And, you know, when it comes back to checking out people that you're around, you have to be careful, because they'll bring you down in any way or form. Obviously, if they see that you are on a path to elevate yourself, they'll do anything, all means by necessary, to bring you down. So that goes back to the Black Devils. Now, a lot of people, be it Nation of Islam, Israelite Hebrews, Israelite Church, those people that are out there in Brixton and railing off their mouth about the white man. Yeah, the white man is a devil by nature. That's a fact. But then, you know, you do have devils in all other races, right? And it's the Black Devil, my friends, that is the worst one. You know what I mean? Because they were there first. Before white devils were around, you had the Black Devils, those Hindu beings. And they're there, and they're in all fragments of society. And they'll keep you down. That's why we're in 1998, 1999, year 2000, things are going to be kicking off. You know what I mean? A lot of brothers and sisters that are on the dole, you want to get yourself off that. Because the thing about welfare, what they call it, if you turn the word welfare around or backwards, it's saying farewell. You can see that happening in the United States with all the welfare reforms. What happens in the States is sure going to happen in the UK. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get yourself off that, because what's happening now is that we're coming into a new world order. Now that's been concocted from 1776 by people like by the name of Adam Weishaupt, who was like the brains behind this scheme. And then you have Amschel Rothschild. You know the Rothschilds that got banks all over Europe. They're the people. He was one that basically financed this new world order. And this new world order is going to basically take away your rights, your freedoms. A lot of us today, we don't have rights. When we vote, what are we voting for? We don't get equality. Not by what they go by. So all these things are going to be happening. Certain things, as people that are on welfare, you need to get off that, because you need to do for self. That's what Elijah Muhammad did. He said in Nation of Islam to do for self. That's the most important thing. We have to start building and working together. You know what I'm saying? Because in the day and time we're in, a lot of things are going to be kicking off. You're going to have things like concentration camps, where you're going to be used for cheap labor. All types of certain other type of beings that are going to be coming to this planet, and they're going to be looking for you as food. You know what I'm saying? People are now, they're selling their body parts. In places like India, at time, you might have to sell your body parts. So you'll be walking down the road with one leg missing, one arm missing, one rib missing, one heart, well not your heart, but one, you know what I mean? You're dead then. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, these are the things that are going to be happening. So that's why I say it's important for you to watch around you, people that are around you, you know, because they're there. Man, the Black Devil, I'm telling you, your best friend. They'll give you money, they'll boost you up. You know what I mean? But as long as you are doing what they're doing, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because you have an inner being in you, the soul, that is the real connection to the source. Going back to your etheric parents. When I mean etheric parents, these are the etheric beings, or the Anunnaki, that are our children. They procreated us in their image and likeness, and they gave us that breath of life. That is something that's divine in us. We have that divinity. Don't lose it, brothers and sisters. Don't lose that. That's something that's important for you. But going about the Black Devils, I mean, that can go on and on and on. You know, because they're in all fragments of society, whether it be in music. If you look at the music today, you got people like Puff Daddy. Look at Puff Daddy, what's he doing? Now he's merging soul or R&B with heavy metal. You see a video with him. I mean, what's going on? Our people are getting involved in that. They're crossing over hip hop with rock, with heavy metal. What's going on? All that music is very disagreeable to you, because in the music in itself, it's synthesized music, and that's destroying certain particles in your brain. They're called the 9 magnetic particles. These are the particles that you need if you want to basically elevate yourself onto a higher level. They do this by another way, by certain frequencies. Like if you have mobile phones that a lot of brothers and sisters use, yeah, they're set at 800 megahertz. Your 9 magnetic particles are set at 900 megahertz. So every time you use that machine, it's destroying you. But these particles are important for your elevation. They open up centers in you, so you can open up your third eye, and you can become a child of the Elohim. So you know, in this system, which is the devil system, because remember the devil in himself, there was a war in heaven, and he was cast down to this plane, to this planet. So you have to realize that this is his kingdom, and he'll make everything evil fair seeming. So everything's back to front. Good is bad, bad is good, and we are falling for it. You know what I mean? But it's, as I said, it's your brethren, the people that are close to you, those devils there. They're the ones that you have to watch out for. You have to watch out for them, my friend.
Okay, that was deep. All right, we're gonna open up the phone lines now. All right, don't feel shy. The telephone number in the studio is 0961 182 341. Okay, you know, you can pick up on any of the points the brothers made. All right, that's 0961 182 341. All right. That gets you live across the capital. Okay, we're going to try and take this live link. Okay, go caller, you're live on Genesis. Okay, you don't have to feel shy, alright? Live link number is 0961. There's a call. 0961 182 341. Okay, that's 0961 182 341. All right. In the meantime, while you're feeling a bit shy out there, I'll ask the brothers a few questions. Okay. He's talking about these Hindu beings that incarnated down here. Okay. We got it live again. Okay, caller, you're live on Genesis.
Yeah, sorry about that. I cut off before that.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just going to ask him, he said something.
What's that, bro?
He said something about the devils, like the black devils could be people who are to sort of stab people in a rave or shoot someone in a rave. But I'd say that that whole thing, if he's talking about the black devil, comes out of like a ghetto mentality which is created out of the way society is, which is nothing to do with maybe that person themselves. It's just how they're reacting to the society that they're in. So I think that could be someone's sort of like something that they've inherited from maybe being like, I don't know, come from other beings, being as something is created in this society. And like I kind of disagree with that.
Okay. First of all, when we teach, we don't ask to just accept everything that we teach. What we always say is to do your research yourself and go check it out. Now, us as individuals, we have certain people today that are born with eczema. Right? They're born with holes in their heart. They're born with two heads. Right? We have different blood types. We all come from one according to religion. Right? Why do we have different blood types? How do our blood types change? This categorically proves we come from different lineages. Right? There's nothing that the human mind can't conceive that isn't true, because your brain taps into what is known as the mental reservoir, and beings literally exist on it. That's why people like Jack the Ripper, they say that they ask, why did you murder all those women? He said he had voices in his head. How did those voices get in his head? Where did they come from? Right? We have what we call incisors. Why do we have incisors? We eat meat as well as vegetables. Like, we come from different lineages. We have if you look into the book of Deuteronomy, it talks about the blood being the life force. Right? If the blood is the life force, you have blood types that attack other blood. Why is this?
Sorry,
right?
I'm just interrupting.
Right. What we're saying is there is no way on this planet that every Nubian person that is negative by nature is because of their environment. Because Adam and Eve in the garden, according to religion, right? If people believe that, is that Adam and Eve themselves were black. I got no problem with that. Truth is truth. Facts are facts. Right? If evil existed prior to pale people coming in.
Follow.
Sorry, say that again?
Right, they'll start doing those stupid things, and that is to do with the environment. You're telling me that every kid that comes out of that environment is going to be he's a black devil.
I never said that.
No, but this is what I'm saying to you. They will follow. And this is what I'm saying to you. So when you make a statement, like I'm not only going on what you said, and you said when you see people doing this and that, I don't think you can sort of look at something and that and then turn around and say,
right, first of all, what is a devil? What is a devil?
Sorry?
What is a devil?
I would say someone who's inherently evil.
Somebody that's inherited evil. So how did they inherit evil? So if you're born in...
No.
So how did you said they inherited it? You know what you said? People can be
inherently evil.
So how did they inherit it?
Well, I don't know, they inherit
evil. So you don't know, what's your point?
I'm just saying, that as you ask me what a devil is, I'm not saying that I've got all knowledge. I'm saying...
nobody's claiming to have all knowledge. I'm just asking a simple question.
I'm not, listen, I don't know. There's no need to be like, I'm not being...
Don't get defensive. I'm just asking a simple question.
I'm not being
attacked.
Defensive.
You're not being attacked.
I'm just asking you. I'm telling you. I don't know how they inherit it. But all I can say, a devil is someone who's inherently evil.
Is that a statement or a question?
Pardon?
Is that a statement or
your... That's my opinion of it. You asked me a question and
okay, that's your answer now. You're answering it.
Yeah, that was my answer.
Could you say it again? A devil is...
Me, what is a devil? I said, I think that's inherently evil.
Somebody that's inherited evil.
If you're asking...
So how did they inherit it?
Sorry?
So how did they inherit it? From their mother or their father? Remember, everything comes through the bloodline now. So that's the point that I'm making. You have people that are naturally negative. I mentioned earlier that people are born with eczema. Where did that come from?
This is where you're veering off. I'm picking up on a point that you said that I felt it was too much of a generalization. I don't know. Can you agree with me on that or not? Or you're trying
the reason why I can't reason with you on that, because you obviously wasn't listening before. I'm saying there are demons that are naturally that way inclined, not because they grew up in the ghetto, because not every black person grows up in that environment. That's my point.
I would say you'll find enough people that as a reaction to their society, and then I'm saying that you would have enough people who are going on in those ways, because there's other things that people do. It's like the way that people chase money. And if it's usually known truthfully, they will do things where they're sort of inconsiderate to other people, and in a sense they're doing an evil.
Right, that I can accept that you have a devil that is converted that way because of his environment, but not everybody is that way inclined.
So then can we not say that? So then how can you do?
So you're cutting out. You're cutting out. I can't hear you properly.
Alright, so how can we define then, or you define, or when you're making a statement like that, which things is someone who's sort of adopted it because someone else has sort of done it, and they've sort of taken on from that.
Hear what I'm saying. You have people that are grow up in what we call a negative environment. They live in a council estate. They don't go to school too often. A lot of us, if we're being honest, a lot of what we learn in terms of sex comes from the TV, people around us, and so on and so forth. So that can rub off on you. Now the point that I'm making is, look at the person, an individual that was so that they grew up in a strict household. They lived in Essex in a big mansion. They weren't allowed to watch TV too often. They weren't allowed to. Their parents were so strict. They weren't allowed to watch TV programs with sex, swear words, or violence in it. That person, you know, they grow up into adulthood. They'll go to a Nation of Islam question and answer forum, and they'll try their best to try to catch them out. Not go there to learn anything, but try to catch them out. You have those that you run for the bus. I'm talking about little things that they do. I'm not talking about the major things. I'm talking about small things that they do. They'll run for the bus, and the black driver just quickly pulls off, and he won't let you on even though he stopped just at a traffic light. I'm talking about little things like that, right? Teeny little things that make somebody naturally negative by nature. Those individuals that do not initiate joy. You might all have a brethren that comes round, and he comes down to your house, and all of a sudden the place, everyone's just gloomy because they don't.
So did you just say a bus driver example there?
I'm just giving you an example as.
That's another example there again. You're using, to me, that's like another generalisation. You can't take on action that someone does.
No, because you're saying that I'm
turn around and say they're evil. This is what I'm saying.
I never said all bus drivers are evil. I'm giving you an example.
Take actions like that. You
I'm giving you an example.
And making. All right, you use an example. I'm taking. I'm taking what you said, and that's what I'm using. Yeah.
Right.
And then I'm saying, I'm taking that example there, right? And I'm saying that again, the reason why a lot of people do go on like that is that as a result of what this society is like.
So you're making excuses, you're not accepting responsibility. I can't agree with you. That's exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said.
Now listen to me.
Take responsibility, man. Sorry?
Listen to me. I'm agreeing with you in saying that I do agree that you have people in there who inherit evil, but I'm saying...
So what's your point then?
No, I'm saying, no, I didn't say it. See, I mean, this is where you tell me all the time, listen, and then you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Go on.
So, you said that you do get, I agree with you, you get people inherently evil, but I'm saying some of the examples that I heard you use, that's where I disagree. I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm saying I disagree, and I think if you're coming on radio and making such big statements, you've got to be careful what you say. That's what this is what I'm saying.
Okay, is that it?
Okay, yeah, I mean, like, if you coming on and someone's coming in the beginning, there's no need, like, if that is, you know what I mean? That's not a polite way to speak to man.
No, what is it you're getting upset? Have you...
No, I'm getting upset in the way that if someone comes on and got a different opinion to you, you seem offended.
No, that's because you can't articulate yourself well enough to ask the question.
Pardon?
You can't articulate yourself well enough to ask the question. You said some people inherited evil. I agree with that. That's the point that I made earlier. So I'm asking you again, what is your point? I don't understand it.
No, you did understand my point, because you've just spoken about it, and I said to you, you're making too many generalizations. And now you're saying, now you don't understand. You knew what I was saying. You're just because you might have a lot of knowledge, and then you start throwing that knowledge in my face, getting off what I'm trying to say.
Your brother.
Then now everyone's gone into a bit of a hate.
Your brother.
Yeah?
Remember what we say, yeah? These are, what we gave you were examples, yeah? Now, as you said, there are devils, yeah, by conversion. It's the environment that you're in, yeah? It may be negative, especially like when you're living in London. There's a lot of negative vibes in this area. All different types of frequencies that are attacking you, yeah? So there are devils that are by conversion, and there are devils that are born devils. They have no soul. When you have no soul, you have no emotion. You can learn emotion, but basically you weren't born with it. So you are just going to do disagreeable things. You will thrive off people's bad, if they don't do well in life, you will thrive off it. You will laugh at them. I'm giving you examples so you can relate, because people that are listening to this show all over London, they can relate to these type of examples because it may have happened to them. When we deal with right knowledge, we deal with evidence, experience, and reasoning. Yeah. So see, some of the things you can experience, some of the things we can back up with evidence, and then some of it we can do with reasoning. You were given a brain, being a child of the Elohim, yeah, to reason things out logically.
But this is what I've used. That is where my reasoning comes. I didn't disagree with everything you said. There's a lot of things that were said, and I thought to myself, yeah. But it's just when it came to that, it's not just that. There was probably, but that jumped out at me, and I thought, well, if they give me a phone number, I'm going to ring up on that point. And that's what jumped out at me, and I thought to myself, that sounded a bit too general. And then the guy went into the bus stop example, which again, even though he said it's a small thing, it's still too general, because I'm saying that people acting in like that way could be a result of this society, whereas I wouldn't say that person is an inherent devil. And I think, I don't know, do you believe that people who've gone that way can sort of come back again?
Yeah, but remember, the Bible's giving you examples of things, you know what
I know.
You understand that?
I'm saying, though, if you give an example of something, then you can't then turn, well, I don't think then you can turn around and say, this makes someone a devil. You understand?
Yeah, but it's not just that, but I mean, they may do this all the time, you know what I'm saying? He was just giving you an example of an occasion. All the way through their life, they may just do this, they may just thrive off that. That's just one of the incidents that occurs. You know, we're not going to give you a daily account of what that bus driver did all the way through the day.
Yeah, all right, yeah, okay.
You understand?
I'm not going to be petty and say, try and do something like that. That would be silly. You know what I mean? But yeah, well, fair enough.
Yeah, well, you know where to come. You know, 49F Road. We got question and answer classes there, where you can deal with this. You know, so we can see you face to face, and we can reason these things out. I'm not here to attack you, whatever. We're here to present the facts. Yeah.
No, I agree with facts.
Some people do not like the truth, because the truth hurts.
That's not at all. You know what I mean? Not at all. I wouldn't ring in like. I know how this thing goes. It's just that. The way to speak, so like the way this person, whoever you are now, is speaking to me, I much prefer than the way the last person at the time felt like it was an attack.
No, we're not out to attack you, man. It's just that, you know, the day and time that we're in, we need to come out with the facts. A lot of people won't like that.
Facts, it's vague, you know what I mean? Like, facts. I can deal with facts. If I find something, and like, there can be a point where I disagree on something. If someone puts facts in my face, facts is facts. I'm prepared to accept. I'm not going to be trying to be someone who defends something to the bone just on pride. No, if there's something that is true, it's true. But then that thing, I didn't agree with, and that is...
Okay, well, you know, I mean, we as people don't always agree, but you were just giving that was just an example so people can relate to. Maybe it may not happen to you, but other people out there in London town, it may have happened to. You know what I'm saying? It's just an example, because we have to relate things. You know what I mean?
I understand.
You know, it's all about relating.
To certain people, since it won't be true, then they'll think, well, what they're, like, the way that, whatever you're trying to relate to that person, it won't be. So if you're using generalizations, when you said Puff Daddy, then that, to me, is blatant. You understand? That is much more of a fact than using something which happens in many times, which will not be true for many different sort of people. But with that, it's such a big, it's a fact that's there in everyone's face. But that's like that kind of example. I think many more people can relate to than to an example where it's gonna, when you're going out across the airwaves, to many different people, it can mean different things. That's where I feel like, well, you know what I mean? Thanks for answering my question.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, brother. I hope you're satisfied with the answers. All right. The live link number in the studio: 0961 182 341. Gets you live across on Genesis 916. That's 0961 182 341. Okay. Don't be shy. We're going live, all right? Okay, caller, you're live on Genesis.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, bruv.
Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to the minister at the moment.
The minister? Okay, my name is Winston anyway.
Your name is?
Winston.
Winston, okay, bruv.
Yeah, I've been listening to your radio station, yeah? I would to ask you like a couple of questions. And those questions being like, first of all, you know you're talking about the devil, yeah? And black devils.
Yeah.
So, being that there's black devils, do you believe in God as well?
Okay, I'll get the brothers to break it down.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
When you're talking about God biblically in the Bible?
Well, you know that the devil is, you know, do you believe the devil exists?
The devil does exist, because the devil, remember, if you, according to your Bible, Yeah, the devil's the one that basically there was a war in the heavens, and that devil was cast down.
Yeah.
Now, when you ask me about do we believe in God, you got to define the word God.
All right. Well,
we have to define that. Now, the word God, which comes from a German word which means gut, which means good. What it did is take away one O, and then you got God.
Yeah.
Now, when you go into the scriptures or into the languages, when you go into Aramaic Hebrew, which is where the Torah came from, and in the New Testament, which was from Greek, but originally in Syriac Arabic, the word for God is Elohim.
Okay.
Elohim, Now, with the word Elohim, it's talking about these beings. These beings, that's a pluralization because the Yod and the Mim give it a pluralization. Now, when you deal with Elo, that's dealing with singular. Or El Elo, the Most High. Now, these beings are the Anunnaki that came here. Now, there is a being higher than that called Anu. Or you call him Elion El, or the Most High. You know, these
So you're going on, but you know, like
I'm just giving you a definition of God because you asked, do we believe in God? Now, I don't believe in the God that's in that Bible. That God is a wimp.
All right,
that God is a wimp. That God, if you go to Isaiah, 7:20, that God shaves. What's he shaved with? A bick or a Gillette? What is it? In that day, the Lord shall shave. What kind of God is that? That God is not omnipotent, omnipresent. You know, that God also, it says, if you go to Numbers 23:22, that God is as strong as a unicorn. Strong as a unicorn. The God that created the heavens and the earth, that created the boundless universe, is as strong as unicorn. That God in your Bible is a physical God. If you go to Genesis 18:1, you talk about God coming down. And it's Abraham giving him food.
Just one question, because I know you could. I mean, I know you've done your research and everything. So your God, what's his name?
All right, the Most High. What you're referring to is his name is Anu. Anu. That's his Sumerian name.
Yeah. Okay, that's his Sumerian name.
Yeah. Now he is the Most High.
All right. He's the Most High. So
he's not God. He's not God because because
when like you see people that go and they giving praises to the Most High. Are they referring to Anu or to some other spook god in their mind? You know, like Christian people, they're saying they're giving thanks to God. A lot of black people say, we give thanks to God for making all things possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if that's the case, then I mean, it's just like, people are going to say that, like the Muslims they say that, what's his name? Allah's got many names. He's got 99 names. The merciful, the beneficent, the this, the that, this,
attributes.
That. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a name, but we all understand what we're trying to say, which is that we're giving praise to the God who does things which is good. Is that not right?
But the Christian God, some Christians will say that's Jesus. Right now, Jesus has been depicted as a hippie head, insipid, melanin recessive God. So many of our parents,
but sorry to cut you again, right? A lot of people, we do know that. I mean, if we look at it, I mean, it's an indirect trick that was used for slavery, which they use for their, how can I say, their sources. You get the picture, which I'm trying to say. And so it's just like a subliminal brainwashing of words to try and mislead the people. But at the end of the day, we all know when we're talking about God.
No, my brother, not everyone knows what they're talking about.
That's true, not everybody knows.
Because people use that God, people will have that Caucasian God in their minds. That's been set in their minds subliminally, right? Everything that you see on media, when they depict Jesus or Moses or whatever, you got Charlton Heston as Moses.
That's true, that's very true. But
you know what I'm saying?
One point which I want to make separate to that, because we've defined about the so-called God and about
I haven't even begun really.
That's true. I mean, you could go on, but we've only got limited time. Another thing which I wanted to know is, like, you refer to, like, the devils and black people and so on. So do you think that it's just simply not due to the fact that black people are unorganized and they don't want to do, they're all in different ways. They don't want to organize. They don't want to get into, how can I say, put ourselves all in a positive way, do the right things, get organized, do things. I don't necessarily think that it blames down to, like, a lot of people blame society, a lot of people will blame this, a lot of people blame that, but still, if we look at it, the Indian people have got all their own gods, they prosper. The Jewish people, they've got all their own gods, they still prosper. The Chinese have got millions of gods, they prosper. So really and truly, do you think it's right to say that, you know, you're saying that it's gods and devils and so on? So we know that it's additional factors, but there's a lot of confusion that's going on within the black community alone. It's got, I personally think that all these other races have got all their other gods, but they're still prospering.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but what you have to check it. One thing that we always like to put across is that we live in what we know as the Western Hemisphere, right?
Well,
all right. Now, hear what I'm saying.
The so-called population of black.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question, right? If you go to China, right, you will have Buddha in an image and likeness of the Chinese, which I've got no problem with. That's their god. You go to India, those places around there, you have Vishnu and Brahma in the image and likeness of Asian people. You go to Africa, you have like Yoruba tribe, they have Oba Ta'ala in the image and likeness of them. But when it comes to us in England or America, in the Western Hemisphere, we have to have a half-naked white man on a cross. And when we say we don't want that, we're called racist. Hear what I'm saying, I'm not done yet.
You said that you're called racist. I don't see nobody calling people racist.
No, what I'm saying is if we say we don't want no white man as a god, they'll call you a racist if you say put up a black man.
No.
Hear what I'm saying? I'm not finished yet.
But listen to this, right? Irrespective of what you put up, at the end of the day, it's what we as black people are achieving at the end of the day, and we ain't amounting to nothing.
I agree with you.
We're
I'm
not
answering your question.
I personally, I think it's through the organisation and mobility. A lot of black people, they're going this way, they're going that way. I think it's more like you guys. If you know, in my opinion, I can see what you're trying to do, but I think the core fact that should really be done is Muslims, Christians, your Ansalas, this, that. At the end of the day, it's just to mobilise, all to get together to produce the economic base,
You can't do that if you're walking in different paths. That's why
hold on. You're saying we're all walking in different paths.
We are walking.
What you believe in and what you have to do economically to survive is two totally different things. Business is business.
We are walking different paths in terms of religion. The world is divided because of religion.
Yeah, but still, if you look, alright, we're in this country here, yeah? Chinese people here, Indian people here. Right. They still believe in their Vishnu. And
that's why they're prospering, because that's their God in their image and after their likeness. It works for them.
Irrespective, I think the reason why they're prospering is because they're getting on with the job and just doing business.
That's because their way of life and culture works for them. We've accepted somebody else's culture. Hear what I'm saying? We live in the Western Hemisphere. We've been given Christianity, right? Turn the word around, you get Antichrist. The so-called Christians, they don't follow Jesus. They don't do nothing Jesus did. They're not circumcised after 8 days. They don't fall on their face and pray like Jesus did. They don't follow the laws of Moses like Jesus did. Allow me to finish, brother. You had your say. I'm going to answer your question for you.
Okay then.
Right? We are brought up in a culture which does not work for us because it's based on death. As a people, we're alive. The day you're born, you're supposed to grow and elevate physically and mentally. 10 years ago, you're not mentally the same person that what you are now. In 10 years' time, you cannot be the same person then to what you are now, because you always grow and you always elevate. Religion is part of the spell. Right? Allow me to finish. I'm not finished yet. Right? You have I'll take Christianity. One of the main things that our people are under. Right? They say that God is almighty. He knows everything. He can do everything, and He's in control. Right? Their God allowed them to put us into slavery. He knew it was going to happen because He knows everything. Millions and billions of years ago, even before He created the planet. Now we're giving worship to their God. Now we don't have a language. What is our language? English. English is not the oldest language. We existed prior to English coming into existence. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, everything that we're doing is based on death, because the information that they're putting out in religion is dead information. It cannot renew itself. So therefore, if you're accepting somebody else's culture, which is in terms of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, which is not our culture, cannot work for us. Therefore, we're gonna die in that sense. That's why we've been non-productive. We need to. All right. I'm not finished yet. We need to have our own culture that works for us. So we know that can only be right knowledge, because right knowledge is just correct information.
Okay, alright. Apart from the right knowledge, right, one question which I'd like to do, what's the way forward then?
The way to come together, and the only way we're going to come together is with correct information. There's no more beliefs, because belief infers doubt. If you believe in God, you don't really... the original Quran. I don't want the oldest Quran. I want the Quran that was revealed. If you're going to say that the Bible is authentic, then prove it. So I need facts. I need something tangible. I need something. Allow me to finish.
I understand what you're saying there, yeah. But it still goes back to what I'm saying, because you understand how they've been pre-programmed, yeah.
Right.
But you know that, as I just said again, it's like I'm saying the same thing again. You know the Muslims been pre-programmed, black Muslim. You know that the Christians been pre-programmed. But how are you going to all get together and say, listen, you understand? You know, the solution I think is the best way forward is that you respect that people. All right, they're believing in something which is, you know, which they believe in the fallacy. You know that as well. So, but I still think the main objective at the end of the day is to do things that are going to help us economically. Then once people see things that are, you know, coming together on an economical level, then you go into different levels. You can't start saying, because don't forget, we're all part of the same people, right? Some people have been misled, which is very true. Some people have been indoctrinated from school. You all know that. So you can't now use that, you know, the knowledge you have, you can't now say that your knowledge is supreme and you sound so, all right, the fact that whether it is or whether it's not, yeah, but listen, the fact that the knowledge you have is supreme or not, then yours, it's like you'd be doing the same thing as what the Muslims are saying, which is they're saying, I want supreme, so I don't listen to the other people. I personally think that it is important, yeah, but I think that really, in order for us to move forward, we have to, I mean, religion is important, we do know that, but we have to get our understanding of ourselves and how we're going to move forward. I think that's most important, otherwise it's going to be forever. The next person is going to set up Jehovah's Witness, then they'll take another 200,000 black people, then the next one's going to set up a so-and-so religion, they're going to take an next set of black people, and then they're going to be all over the place, because no one's checking it, analysing it, because the real problem, which is, look, you've got to get our act together first, you know, deal with the business side of it, then we can reason, debate, and we can have all different debates on, you know, the different levels, because knowledge is power. We share the knowledge. You don't just chastise people and say their religion's bad. How do you expect the people who's gonna? These are the people who want to help us on the economical level to all get ourselves in order, so that when the Illuminati comes together, we're not, you know, we're not up shit street and we're not all on welfare, we're not all messed up. You see the point I'm trying to make?
What's your question?
My question is, yeah, as I said before, what are you going to do that is going to help us all, you know, as the black Muslims are all mobilise to get our act together? You said that you're going to try and, you know, how can I say, deprogram the people. But
now well, the problem is here is that you're not listening to what's being said. You're not taking in what's being said. You're talking a lot and you're not listening. And the funny thing is, you haven't even asked the question yet. Let me continue. The only way people can be helped is if they want to help themselves. And first and foremost, you need to have the right information. Now, if people are going to say that you're their guiding, you're going to have to question that person to the T. Where are they going? Watch what they do. Watch out the information they put out. Now, us as a united Nuwaubian nation of Moors, we teach our own culture, which is a science called Nuwaubian, which is just literally the science of sound, concrete, sound, right reasoning. You get to that by right knowledge, which is correct information. Right wisdom, which is the application of that knowledge, which leads on to right overstanding. No more under. We don't want to be under anything. We don't understand nothing. We don't want to believe nothing no more. We want to know now. We've been believing that Jesus is going to die for us for years. We've been believing in the Quran for years. Right? How can we say that the religious world are going to come together? And if someone from a Christian, someone who's a Christian is waiting for Jesus to come and save them, the person that is somebody else following Allah, it doesn't make sense. There's too many denominations in Christianity. We ask the religious world, if Jesus is coming back, then which one of the denominations Christianity is he coming to? You're too divided. You don't.
But
I'm not finished. I'm not finished yet. Yeah. I didn't interrupt you, right? Which one is he coming to? You have Sunni, you have Shia, you have Ahmadiyya, you have the Israeli, you have the Nation Islam, the 5%. They don't deal with coming together. They talk it, but they can't do it because they're teaching different doctrines. They deal with separatism, and that's what religion is about. That's why you have people like the government. They have no care for religion because they know what it's about. Religion is not based on facts. You speak to one Sunni Muslim and you ask him a certain question on the Quran, he will give you a totally different answer to somebody else. Then we check the Quran, you have too many different translations of the Quran, right? Because they tell you it's down to interpretation. We want the facts. We want it as it is because facts speak for itself. You understand? We use that word for a lack of a better word because the English language is very limited. You understand what I'm saying? So all what we have to do is come together mentally. You have to deal with the mind.
That's the
you
point.
understand what I'm saying? And the only way you can do that is correct information, which is right knowledge. So.
But listen, you're saying the correct information, right? But that's the point which I'm still trying to make, yeah? You know that a lot of people are under a spell.
Right.
A lot of people can't see it, yeah?
Right.
Now, if we're going to sit down there, we can be down, we can be down here. You know that you can sit down and argue those people to the blue in the face.
No, it's not about that.
Sorry?
It's not about that.
Yeah, alright, it's not about
keep
that.
Keep it real, it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to change.
We're trying to save our people indirectly, yeah?
Sorry?
That's we're trying to save our people.
Yeah, that's
your objective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't need to, you know that you can sit down there and discuss things with the people to your blue in the face. That is not achieving our objective. One of the main things is that we want to start re-educating our people in the right knowledge. Right knowledge is in the basic things that we have in society here.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. That's not true.
We're living here, majority of black people are suffering.
That's right. So how can right knowledge be the basis of our society if we're suffering? If right knowledge is the basis of our society, we would be in this position that we're in now. What is right knowledge?
Yeah.
What is right knowledge?
In order for us to focus we've got to understand the system and the society we're in. Is that not right?
Right.
So one of our main objectives is understanding the system and the society and learning how we're going to progress.
So how are we going to do that without the right information?
Well, you're saying without the right information. The information is available for learning. I mean, we've got factual information. Factual information is things like, understanding society, number one.
We don't want to understand, we want to overstand now. That's the point that's the level our teacher's trying to take us from to. You not hear what I'm saying?
Go on.
Right? We don't want to understand. When you understand things, you're under it. We want to be over it now. We want to know no more beliefs.
Sorry, we overstanding society. That's one of the objectives, the overstanding society. After overstanding it, you've got to mobilize people into the right way of thinking, in the form of business, communication.
I've got no problem with that. But how are we going to do that? It's all very well and good talking about how are we going to do it. Give me the formula. What is it?
Well, that's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to get from you.
And I've given you that, but you've not heard.
Yeah, but what you told me, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You told me that you want to administer the knowledge to all these people. Yeah.
I said give them the right knowledge, the correct information, so they can go and do it for themselves.
To all these people. That's what you said. Is that not right?
Right.
Right. Now, but this is what I said to you before again. Is that the people you're trying to administer the knowledge to, they're going to be saying to you that they're right, as you said.
No, it's not. You're not hearing nothing, right? We teach facts. Facts speak for itself. You cannot disprove a fact. 6 add 6 equals 12. That is a fact. You, no living individual, can disprove it, right? So we say don't believe what we teach. Research it yourself and go and check it out. We don't teach blind faith. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
sound right reason crushes this belief that Adam and Eve were the first 2 people on the planet that we mentioned earlier. Sound right reason crushes this belief in this spook god that no one can prove exists. Sound right reasoning crushes this belief that heaven and hell exist. The religious concept of heaven and hell. Research proves categorically that there are beings that come to this planet. Research proves categorically that we were procreated, that beings that came from someone else to this planet and procreated us in their image and after their likeness. That is something that you yourself can research and go check out, because that is a fact. Therefore, we'll be together mentally on that. If we're together mentally moving in direction, we'll automatically be together physically. Do you not understand what I'm saying? It's all very well and good you're saying we need to do this, we need to do that, but we want the formula now. We want the right medicine. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
and we keep it real, right? We know that this knowledge cannot be for everybody, because not everybody's going to gravitate towards it. Not everybody wants to make that change, and that is the truth.
Yeah, but the point which I'm trying to make,
my brother, hold on. You know what I mean? This is the whole point of it. You get me? The knowledge is not for everybody, and we're discussing that because there's black devils amongst us, and we don't want them with us. That's the thing. We don't want everybody. We want the elite, those that can hear this information and say, yeah, this makes sense to me. Not the black devils, not the people that can't see, because the whole point of the show tonight was about black devils, and I hear everybody coming out making excuses. There's no excuses, there's black devils, they exist. And we don't want them with us, and we want them pointed out.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that there's black devils.
Okay, bruv, and what I'm saying, bruv, what I stepped in really was to cut the call, because you've been on for 21 minutes, bruv. And I know there's other callers that want to get in. You get me?
Sorry?
I said you've been on for 21 minutes, bruv. And I know there's other people that want to get in.
Other people that want to get in. I'll find them.
Yeah, all right, bruv. Enough respect for your call still, right? Just keep it locked to the 916, yeah? Okay, go ahead, caller. You're live on Genesis. Yes, bruv. Hello, brother. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, mate, you're cutting up.
Yeah, I could hear you.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, basically, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, yeah? But you see the term black devil, don't you reckon a better term would be agreeable and disagreeable people?
You're correct, right? But we use the term black devil, right? Because there's black people that they call themselves black, you know what I mean? Because they don't know who they are, black, they call themselves African and black. So we use the term black devil for their benefit. And the brothers will break it down a bit further.
Same. Alright then, but can I just say one thing though, yeah? Are you lot part of the Tabernacle Church?
No, we're called the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, yeah? Now let me just break that down what it is, yeah? Now when you look at the word united, we're coming to basically unite people mentally, yeah? Because that's where we need to start off with, because a lot of people, through indoctrination, through mass media, religion, they've been brain dirtied. So we're coming to basically clear people's minds, to cure people's minds. That's why we call ourselves doctors, because that's what doctors do, cure people, yeah? Mentally. Now, when we call ourselves Nuwaubians, yeah, that's, if you look at that, that's coming from the word noob, which means pertaining to brown. Now you can also see the word Nubian, because that's who we are. We are Nubians, new beings that were procreated in the image and likeness of the Anunnaki. Now Nubia is a place as well, which was in Africa. You have places like Sudan, Uganda. That's where we originated from. Yeah. So we call ourselves Nuwaubians because now we are applying right knowledge. Right knowledge leads on to right wisdom. Right wisdom leads on to right understanding. So now we are qualified for our science, Nuwapu, which is based on sound right reasoning. It's based on the forces of nature. That's our science that we have to work with. That will work for us. You see, religion is not working for us because that's dealing with death. There's a death. It's dead information. Yeah, it's dealing with 6 evil forces, which we call Rahua forces, which are disagreeable forces, which is the force of Leviathan, the spell, the sleep that keeps us brain dead. You know, we can't wake up. That's why they used to call us Negro, because Negro. If you look at the word Negro, I mean black, like black, and the O. You have the Alpha and the Omega. Yeah, the Omega is the end. So basically, they're calling you a mentally dead black person. See what I'm saying? We have to wake people up from that state, because there are a lot of Negroes that are walking around now. See, so now that's why we call ourselves Nuwaubians, because we are activated, we are doing things, we're making things happen. Because if you go to your Bible, yeah, Jesus said in John 10:34, doesn't it state in your law, ye are gods? If you go to Psalms 82:6, it says, doesn't it state in your law, ye are gods, and ye are children of the Most High? So we are the gods. If you go back to Egypt, ancient Egypt, all as gods, Osiris, Imhotep, Zoser, they were seen as gods, they were deities, but they were human beings. See, we are the gods. Adam and Eve, they were the caretakers of this planet. He was a Khalifa, which means a successor, to take care of this planet. We don't take care of the planet now. We have no control of it. It's all negativity on this planet. We need to take it back. We need to make things happen for ourselves. You see, the helping hand is at the end of your arm. We have to start to work together. But that only can start by uniting people's minds, dealing with the right information. Now, when we call ourselves Moors, yeah, that is basically a term, because if you look at the word Moors, it goes into the Spanish word, which means Moranos, or Latin word, which means a state of supreme balancement or blackness. Now, the Moors were people, our ancestors that basically were in places like Spain, Italy, North and South America. They gave people technology. They gave Europeans civilization, culture. Yeah? You know, if you go to southern Spain and Italy, those were the Moors. Now, we use the word Moors because it also pertains to certain treaties that the Europeans made with the Moroccans. Treaties of peace and friendship, which state that we were seen as equal citizens. Yeah? We had equal rights. In this day and time, we don't have no equal rights in this country. Can a Nubian or black person become king or queen in this country? No. No.
No way, mate.
No way.
But
We don't have that. Now, in these laws, we had, you know, when we were put into bondage, people call it slavery, we were kidnapped. We were kidnapped. We were never slaves. The word slave comes from Slavs, from the Slavic people that lived in Yugoslavia. They were the slaves. We were Moors, kidnapped and put into bondage. That's what we have to recognize. Our story. That's why we call ourselves the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. So we're not no Holy Tabernacle Church. We are a sorority and a fraternity. Yeah?
Yeah, but you have similar views, though, you get me?
To who?
To the Tabernacle Church.
What Tabernacle Church are you talking about?
The Holy Tabernacle Church.
What are you talking about? The Holy Tabernacle Ministries?
Yeah.
We were the Holy Tabernacle Ministries.
Huh?
Yeah, we are the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, but we're not the Holy Tabernacle Church, because there are organizations called the Holy Tabernacle Church, and we're not religious.
It's the ministry still, you get me?
Huh?
It's the ministry.
Yeah, we are that.
Yeah, man, because I've read a couple of them books still, you know.
Oh, good.
And there is things there blatantly when you're talking about, like, facts, rather dealing with facts and looking for yourself, you get me?
Yeah.
When you actually search, and when you see the root of Christianity, what it was used for, it was used as a tool to unite the people, to inflict pain upon others.
That's right.
Like the wiping out of total civilization to make theirs the dominant one. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it, without reading it from no books, you get me?
Yeah.
But,
you see, Christianity, that was something that was basically concocted. You know what I mean? That was made because during the time when Jesus or Yeshua was around, you had Romans and Greeks. They were renowned pagans, idol worshippers. They're the ones that brought in hymns. They're the ones that, you know, that's why you got people in Catholic churches that have the Mother Mary, Madonna, and they have Jesus up there. Idol worshipping. All paganistic rituals are in Christianity today, right? That was concocted because they had to compile a religion that was you know, for the masses that were in that day and time. Now the roots of Christianity come from Hinduism, because if you look at the word Christ, that comes from Krishna. Yeah, Krishna is one of the Hindu deities. You have Brahma, you have Shiva. Yeah, all that goes back. Christianity goes back to those roots, to Hinduism. Many Christians would not like to accept that, but truth is truth. You know what I'm saying? It was it's compiled, and you had another person by the name of Paul, who was a so-called an apostle or a disciple of Jesus. He never ever met Jesus. He never walked with him. He never talked with him. He was not a disciple. He wasn't related to any disciples. It was only his acclaimed vision in the books of Acts, which was written by him and by Luke. So I'm saying, all the books of the New Testament, not one of them is divinely inspired. They're all letters. They're all epistles of Paul. Those are his letters to the Corinthians, to many other people, to the Romans. It has no divine inspiration from the Most High. You know, Christians will claim that these are the books that Jesus had, but it wasn't like that. Those were compiled by the Nicene Council in 325 AD. That's what they formulated. And you have another man by the name of Joseph Flavius Piso. He was a playwright, and basically took stories from the Old Testament and put them into the New Testament. So that book is basically compiled. Now, if you know about Paul was a Pharisee, and his father was a Pharisee, and the Pharisees were the ones that Jesus always talked about, the ones that were concealers of the truth, Capharoons. Yeah, those are the ones that gave lip service. Those are the ones that didn't have all their information came from Greek mythology, Zeus, Helena. That's where you get the word Jesus from. Why are people using Jesus today? That's not Jesus' real name. His real name is Yeshua. When you look at the word Jesus, that was formulated. You get the Jah from the Hebrew deity, Jehovah or Yahweh. Yeah, and Zeus from the Greek god, or Jesus, or Zeus, the Greek god Zeus. That's what they compiled Jesus to be. That's why you have that depiction of that Jesus, blonde hair, blue eyes, Bob Geldof lookalike. That's what they have today. That is your Jesus. You know, why call on that? When you look at the word Zeus or Zeus, that scientific name is pig. So you're going, oh pig, Jesus, oh pig. That's what you're really saying. But a lot of Christians won't know that because they're under the spell. That's why we say do your research, because you have to look at the root of words, because they all have meanings. In English language, it's a very disagreeable language because it has many things. When you say hello, what are you saying? Hell is low. You understand? When you say good morning, you're dealing with you're saying about the devil, because remember he was the morning star. You're basically saying good morning to Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful when you look at the word lived. You turn it backwards. It says evil. You know, the English language is a very disagreeable language, and it's basically keeping us trapped. You know, we have our language, which is called Nuwaubic, yeah, which is that's what the Elohim or Anunnaki, that's what they spoke to us, and they gave us this language. Now the master teacher's given this language for us to basically speak our culture, so we can speak and communicate to one another using our stuff. That's what he is. The master teacher is our renewer. He's renewing all our things. Every 25,000 years, we renew our way of life. But he has to come at the ending times. Now it's whether you, as a person, yeah, and the people out in London, take heed to what he is saying. Remember, he's dealing with facts. He's not just telling you to accept it just for itself, but you have to check it out for yourself. Because then you will only know. You remember what Yeshua said in John 8:32. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You need to know things. Don't believe in things anymore, brother. You need to check it out.
Okay, brother, enough respect for your call, right? We're going to try to move along, you get me? All right. The live link number in the studio is 0961 182 341. That's 0961 182 341. Remember the spellings in the spellings, okay? All right, yeah. My question while we got a little break while nobody's phoning in. We talked about the Hindu beings. All right, I don't mind. I can talk to them after anyway. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Genesis. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Deptford.
Sorry?
Colin from Deptford.
Yes, bro.
Alan. The name Alan.
Yeah.
Is that his first name, or that's just his being name?
The name Anu is just a title attributed to this individual. It's just a title. It just means heavenly one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sorry?
His name.
They don't have names like me, like Thomas or Mikey or Bob. They have titles because they have meanings, and that is one of his titles, the heavenly one. That's all.
Okay. So what does El Qayyum mean?
El Qayyum is the all in Nuwaubic. It's just the all. That's the best word we can use in English language to describe it. The Christian world say that God is everywhere. We know that God can't be everywhere because he's in heaven, according to them. So if you're in heaven, you have to be smaller than heaven. We know that God can't be everywhere if he comes down and he speaks to people, according to Genesis chapter 28. According to Genesis 1:26, because let us create man in our image and after our likeness. If I made an image and likeness of God with arms, legs and everything, God can't be everywhere. Alright? God is an individual according to the Bible that walks and talks. Adam tried to hide from God. If God is everywhere, then why is this Adam hiding? Was Adam stupid? If so, then God makes mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're saying is that we have beings known as Etherians, which are beings of pure energy. Now us as individuals, we have what is known as melanin. Right? Melanin is a physical manifestation of light. We have lost our divinity. If you go into the book of Mark, it talks about Jesus turning the water into wine. How did he do this? It was he had a science known as alchemy, which which gave him where he knew how to actually manipulate molecules, molecular structure of certain things. The same thing that Moses did when he threw his rod in front of Pharaoh. He also knew the science of alchemy, which comes from the word chemet, which is nothing but chemistry again. So we want to have the ability to manipulate our molecular structure and turn into what we call Etherians, beings of pure energy, which is just light. So we return to what is called the all, and that is the best word we can use to describe the all. We can't conceive the all. All we say is just that You cannot add to the all because you wouldn't get it from anywhere to add it to, and you cannot take from the all because you couldn't go outside of the all to take it from. Do you understand what I'm saying? Alright, man. Respect. Yeah, what?
Okay, live link number in the studio. Enough respect for your call. 0961 182 341. That's 0961 182 341. Okay, be a witness to this listening audience in London town. You know those people that want to walk around slamming the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors to you, and they don't phone in now. Phone them up and say they're on live now. You know, and let me hear you defend it. If not, fix up and shut your mouth. Okay, in the meantime, the question was, the Hindu beings are incarnated here. Where did they come from?
The Hindu beings that actually came to this planet, if you do any research, if you do any research into Hinduism, they always talk about reaching a state called nirvana and so on and so forth. These are star constellations that do exist. They actually existed on different star constellations. Like these were beings known as the lesser light. They came down to this planet and practiced their religion, which is Hinduism today. If you do any research into Hinduism, you see them that have a lot of gods with like elephant heads and so on and so forth. You can do some research now and you'll find pictures of what we call centaur. A centaur is a half human, half horse. Right? You have mermaids. A mermaid was found off one of the coasts in California in 1984, half man, half fish. These are not things that people just make up and just put out. But these things do exist. Now these Hindu beings came down. They were what we call disagreeable or very negative. These were the demonic beings. They came down and they practiced their demonry on this planet. They went over and they raped a group of people. Like they went into their villages and raped and plundered and stole in their village. And the offspring of this rape gave birth to a new form of a new being. Where it talks about there were giants in the earth in those days. This is the Watusi tribe. But what the point I'm trying to make is that every race on this planet comes from somewhere. Us as Nuwaubian, our procreators are known as the Anunnaki. These are 9 ether woolly haired beings that personifies physical men on this planet. And they procreated us in their image and after their likeness. You have the Ashtar Command, do some research, go check it out, that are responsible for the procreation of pale people on this planet. That's why you have people like Adolf Hitler. He saw pale people, so blonde hair and blue eyed as the superior race. Now why would he see that as superior if he himself was black haired or brown haired and brown eyed? Why is that? We have to ask ourselves these questions. It's all about research. Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich, they were doing it. They were in contact with beings known as the Ashtar Command, who wanted to procreate their people on this planet. The Nation of Islam talk about a black person they call Yaqub, who grafted the white man, the so-called white man, and made the first devil. Now, I got a problem with that because it's not explained. You have to explain it to me, because if I'm fortunate enough to have children and they come and ask me this question and they want answers, I'm going to want to give it to them. But if you do any research, like I mentioned earlier, the word speaks for itself. Caucasus Asian, they come from Asian people. They're just Asian people without the melanin. That's what they are. You had Yaqub, who was a great scientist. He was telepathically communicated by these Ashtar Federation or from the Pleiades star constellation. And after a period of hundreds and hundreds of years, he was grafting and making the germ out of the Asian person. The people that he influenced at the time were certain Hindu people that were around him, and he grafted that out of their genes, and he was splicing genes, what we know as the black and the brown germ. After hundreds of years, it became lighter and lighter and lighter until he got the result he wanted. But he died many years before his actual concoction came to manifest, because the people that he influenced around him continued his work. And this is the birth of the first pale people known as Flugerods. These are people that live within the center of the earth. Now you'll get this from certain films that you watch, like Journey to the Center of the Earth and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, where it talks about places called Atlantis and so on and so forth. There are beings that do live within the planet Earth. This is where you get your ghouls and your ogres and your trolls and your smurf concepts from. This is where they come from. Now, this is where the heaven and hell. This is where the hell concept comes from. Where you die, you go to hell. Because people have travelled down to the center of the earth and not come back, because there are beings that literally do reside there. The Hindu people have their people that came from the that came from Sin in the Procyon star constellation. That's why a lot of them are called Sin. This is where they come from, yet Hindu people actually came here, right? You have the Ashtar commander responsible for the pale people on this planet, and you have us, the Nubians, who are made after the image, or created after the image and the likeness of these beings known as the Elohim, mentioned in the Bible. That's how the so-called God person was able to move upon the face of the waters, because they was in a craft clearing the dust clouds, because they were replenishing the planet. You understand what I'm saying? So you have different races of people that come from different, will literally have their lineage coming from different parts of the universe, literally. And the reason why you get like Oriental people and so on and so on, because we've mixed our seed with Hindus and Pale people, and Hindu people have mixed their Hindu beings mixed their seed with all kinds of demonic beings. That is the reason why we get X-Men now, because of you have in the Bible it talks about the snake talking in the gardens. We know that snakes can't talk. You know, but if you're doing your research, you know there are such things as reptilian beings that you will see on films like Gremlins, and you will see on films like E.T. and V. These are not something I mentioned earlier that people just concoct. These things do exist, and these beings have mixed their seed with them. And these Hindu beings came down and mixed their seed with the Pygmy tribe. So this is how we have different blood types due to different mixing and so on and so forth. I'm gonna hand you over to.
Okay, live link number. There's a thorough breakdown there. 0961 182 341. That's 0961 182 341. In the meantime, I'll continue. So we're trying to say eczema or eczema. That's a like reptilian trait.
Eczema is a reptilian trait. The incisors that we have comes from is a reptilian trait. That's why a lot of us we like to eat meat. You understand what I'm saying? So we have a lot of traits that manifest up. You know, a lot of people are born hairy. The Hindu beings that came down were very hairy. Do some research. They're known as shaggies. The beings known as Enkiduites. A lot of us suffer from what is known as hirsutism. So this is the reason why we have different blood types. We suffer from different beings, because we're coming from different lineages. This is right knowledge that you yourself can research and go check out. It's not something I'm making.
Oh, I also heard like the list. We don't particular list. Is that a reptilian trait as well, or is that? No, that's something I heard. All right, 0961 182 341 gets you live across the capital. You can talk to the brothers. Remember what I said. All these people that want to come walk around slamming the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, and they tell you nah, it's wrong. Phone them up and tell them that they're in here live. And let them, let us hear from them, Come on, where are you? I mean, even, I'll just say anyway, even some of the presenters on the 916 that are against it, come on, where are you? Where are you? 0961 182 341. Talk now or forever hold your peace. All right, we're going to go back now. All right, now you said something like the Caucasian people being like with the Ashtar Command and what have you. Are they reptilians also? Who are the Ashtar Command?
Alright, the Ashtar Federation, Ashtar Command, they are basically a group of beings, that are blonde hair, blue-eyed beings. Now they were actually genetically made by reptilians, because basically reptilians are basically the ones who are, you have winged species and non-winged species. They actually use genetic splicing to create these type of beings. Now, these Ashtar Federation, they play themselves off as gods when they came to this earth, because they couldn't fool many other type of beings. They couldn't fool the Anunnaki, because they knew exactly how they came about. So they basically came here. Now, they basically influenced Hitler, through using many renowned witches, one by the name of Maria Ostage and Zingerum. They were part of the Thule Society, and they basically were a group of mediums, and they actually used Hitler as a contacting man to basically come to deal with their mission. Now they gave Hitler, when he actually saw these beings, he actually thought that they were angels, because when you check out Hitler, he had brown hair, brown eyes. You know what I mean? He was not a Caucasian, because a Caucasian, by science's definition, is someone who has blonde hair, blue eyes, who is indigenous to the Caucasus Mountains between the Caspian and Black Sea. So those are your Caucasians. Anything other than that, any type of being who's got brown hair, red hair, freckles, is termed as a mulatto. So they're not Caucasians. Caucasians on this planet are in a minority. When you check out Nubians or us as a people, we are in the majority. Now these Ashtar Federation, they gave Hitler the idea to create these beings, yeah. And these Ashtar Federation are also creating a type of being called your neutrinoids. And these neutrinoids are people that you'll see on your television, music videos now that have all different types of races. So they're mixed with Nubian, they're mixed with Chinese, they're mixed with Hispanic, they're all mixed up. So you don't know exactly what they are, who they are, and what they're about. This is what your Ashtar Federation have been doing. Now, your Ashtar Federation actually came to the American government in the 50s, wanting to basically tell the world that we're on a road to destruction, and saying that we should lay down our arms. Yeah, but there was a being by the name of Valiant Thor, who was a Hindu being from the planet Venus. Yeah, there are beings on Venus. Yeah. Now, basically, Valiant Thor told them not to trust these beings because they're in it for their own agenda. Yeah. So these beings had to, as I said, go back into time and to basically contact these witches who actually contacted Hitler. Yeah. Now, we talk about, obviously, come out to year 2000, May the 5th, that there was a planetary alignment. And in the year 2003, August the 12th, yeah, that these Anunnaki coming back for us, and they're basically going to be coming back in shams, 2,880 shams. Now, they're coming back for the elite, who are Nuwaubians, yeah. The Ashtar Federation, they're coming back for their people. You know what I mean? So, and they are, propagating their type of, stories and information that has nothing to do with us. But a lot of us as Nubians, we're trying to get caught up into that, because if you go to many bookshops, they'll have information on the Ashtar Federation. They have nothing to do with us, because they're promoting a being who they say is superior, having blonde hair, blue eyes. If you check out a lot of us today, a lot of brothers and sisters, we're having blue contact lenses. Just check out the group Eternal. Look at what they're doing. They're on television, they're on the media, they're promoting blonde, blue eyes. You see a lot of sisters donning the blonde wigs. You see them everywhere. If you go carnival, you see them blonde, blue wigs, whatever. That's just being an image and likeness of the beast. When you straighten your hair, you might call it creaming, processing, and whatever. Yeah, you're trying to look like them and be in their image and likeness. That is a spell that we are under, and that's responsible. And the beings like the Ashtar Federation, they are part of this.
Okay, enough respect, bro. Enough respect. Now, the True Light show has come to a close. You had your chance to phone in. Okay, I didn't hear from Curtis. I was hoping to hear from Curtis. All right, mate. I was hoping to hear from you. No sign of you. I've perished. Okay. Remember, you can catch me back here 12 till 2, Friday afternoons. And also 11 till 1, each and every Wednesday night from Genesis. And also, when the Nation of Islam don't turn up, I'll fill in your show too. Alright, and I'll play the correct information because it's got to go so. For further inquiries into what you was hearing, and for more information on the question and answer classes, you can call me on 0374 231 658. Remember, black devils do exist. Don't make excuses for them. Okay? You cannot. You cannot. Because you make an excuse about Judas for me. Make an excuse about Cain for me. Make the excuse for me. Go ahead. Well, you see, it was because of what? Black devil, that's why. Remember, we don't want them with us. We don't want them with us. It's not for everybody. It's for the elite only. Not for the dumb nigger that took in dumb information, a dumb religion, and a dumb God. Just for the elites. Now I'm going to ask the brothers to say what do you say?
This is Dr. Lloyd Osborne. I just hope that what we've said tonight has been informative. But we always emphasize not accept blindly what HDM teaches or what the master teacher puts out. Research it yourself and go check it out. It's not about blind faith. The purpose of these doctrines that we put out is not to harm anybody or to offend anybody, but just to tell the truth. We have to address it because people are caught up in these things. What our teacher is here to right the wrongs. That's why he, as an individual, could never be defeated. He's not being asked to go on certain TV shows like Farrakhan and other leaders because he's infallible. Like, facts speak for itself. He's here to re-brainwash and give us back our culture, where we're coming from, who we are, and where we should be going. Right? I just hope that you've appreciated the show. I hope that that you can gravitate towards your culture, which is the science of Nuwaubian. You know, I hope that people that are listening is gonna ignite something in you to go check it out, see if these people are talking nonsense. You know. But with that, I'll just say what I do on this. I hope you appreciate what's being taught.
Yeah, this is Dr. Edwin Deco. I'd like to thank you for actually being on the show. Now, all the information that we have come out with today, you know, it's coming from the master teacher, Nehemiah Malachi L. We are basically disciples of the Lamb, so that basically it's our job to basically teach this information, right knowledge, because in this day and time we need to wake up. We need to basically take responsibility for ourselves. You understand? Now, you know, we will be on the show many more times, and so, you know, if you couldn't come out with your questions today, if you were shy or if you didn't understand, there'll be many times. We have many tabs all over London where you can come and check out this information. Many bookshops that are opening up every month. You'll see a bookshop opening up. Information's out there for you to start. What you need to do is start to apply it, because the time is now, my brother and sister. And I'll say wadu.
Okay, London City. That's us in for the night. We have the RB, okay, in the studio. And also DJ B. They're going to be taking up the hot seat and like spinning some discs. Relax your mind, because I know the information was deep beyond you, some. But for those elite that touch the divine in them, the telephone number to call me on is 0374 231 658. That's 0374 231 658. Or you can email me on wrwec@westminster.ac.uk, or this one, JHU 776 4861. That's JHU 776 4861. Remember, this is preparing the way for the end and the God of this world to come back. Who estamos. Minsta Rebel, I'm out of here saying peace.
Genesis FM, London.
Accept your own and be yourself. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
We are Genesis FM, London.
Black power station, educate the nation. Love that.
We are Genesis FM, London.
Hi, this is Horace Brown. Educate yourself. Hi, this is Horace Brown, and I'm listening to Genesis, and you should too, because you can educate yourself and your youth.
We are Genesis FM, London.
Genesis, London's only #1 station.
Genesis FM.
Stay tuned to Genesis Radio, and you'll know how to live as well. This is Luciano.
Genesis FM, London.
I'm just phoning up to ask, what does Genesis really stand for?
Unity in the community. Lennox Lewis said that. We are Genesis FM.
London's only #1 station.
Genesis the Pullman Radio.
Yo, how much time we have a want so the confidence drop out of the palm, you know? His Imperial Majesty's work, a sizzler said that, when I put it down now.
The People Station. The People Station. Genesis FM.
Genesis Station.
Genesis FM.
Hi, this is Sylvia Keller, and I tune into Genesis because they reach.
We are the people station. We are the people station. We are the people station. We are Genesis FM. Genesis FM. London. We are the people station.